Okay, so in the morning session, basically, what tools we studied or we have learned were basically about capturing the data, about how to organize the data, manage things, okay, related to the data, and collaborate the data with others. So all those tools were related to the data part. Okay, so now in this particular section, what we are going to study is about the tools that will help you in the teaching and learning process with relation to the learners. Okay, so let's before we start this, okay, let's see what was the scenario in the pre uh, your pre-pandemic era, right? Okay, so the pre-pandemic era, what I'm calling is when we used to go to the college, we used to go in the classroom, teach, we give assignments to the students. Students used to write the assignment, submit it, and so on. So this was a phase, wherein we were very comfortable with. Okay, now because of the pandemic situation, we are in a situation wherein we have to switch to online teaching and doing work using digital platform. Okay, so if we see that before if we had a proposal of switching to paperless work before the pandemic started, okay, it would have taken decades to implement it. But because of this pandemic situation, this has been accelerated. Okay, so now we are, we have to use all these tools, and we have to learn, and we have to advance ourselves. So here what basically the first this is the outline. Okay, uh, we are going to see Google Classroom. Okay, a Google Classroom is nothing but a learning management tool or a system that helps you collaborate with all the students in your classroom, and grade them, assign them assignments or quizzes or experiments, and you can grade it online. Then the second one that we are going to see is a Jamboard. Jamboard is nothing but a online digital interactive whiteboard, okay, that can be used for teaching them online. Like before we used to use a blackboard, now we can use a digital whiteboard using a Jamboard. Then Google Calendar for organizing and managing our daily activities. Okay, so nowadays we don't even remember the day and the date. Okay, because we are at home, so it becomes very difficult for us to literally remember the day or the date, because today we know that is a a capability building program. So we know it was on Wednesday, so we remember it. But if there is no event like this, we don't remember. So if we want to schedule our daily activities, we can use Google Calendar for the same. Then we have Google Meet. Google Meet is a virtual classroom setup tool, okay, that will help you to interact with your student virtually, and it will give you a feel of teaching them uh, like you had teach them in the classroom. And there are some extensions that are very essential for us to know when we are using these tools. Okay, so these G Suite tools that we are going to study ahead of this, okay, these are free of cost tools, and they're very easy to learn, and they are not at all difficult. They are what you can say, uh, uh, in the day-to-day scenario, how you used to actually give assignments to the students, you used to grade the students. The same thing has come to a virtual world. So it is not at all difficult if you have that thinking ke, shifting to a digital platform is difficult thing. It is not at all, let me tell you that, because these tools are so user friendly that you'll not have any problem. And even though if you face any problem, there are what you can say, FAQs available and guidelines available that can help you, and a lot of tutorials are available online that will help you to solve your doubts if you have any. So this was a introduction. Let's go to Google Classroom. Now, Google Classroom is a online classroom tool. Okay, so let's first take a scenario. in your pre-pandemic era, when you used to, have a classroom where the students used to be given assignments, okay? Then, or if you wanted to share notes with them, your teaching materials, okay? So you used to write the notes. Most of the faculties, have the habit of writing their own notes. So what we used to do, we used to give them notes. They used to either take a photocopy of it, or they used to, scan it and distribute it to the class, or we used to only photocopy it and give it so that our notes are not spoiled, right? And the next thing that we used to do is that we used to have assignments that we used to dictate them in the class, or we used to take a circular of it, and we have to put it on the notice board, or some way or the other we used to share those assignments questions with them, right? And experiments as well, we used to take out a list, we used to put it in the lab, or we used to have a what you say manual to help them understand what actually they are going to do throughout the semester in the experiments. So everything was related to the paper things, right? Okay, hard copy, we can say. So now this everything that I have talked about, okay, we are going to do everything that we used to do in the real world in the virtual world. Okay, so we used to assign them assignments, experiments. We used to give them study materials. Everything that we used to do in the real world, we will do it in the virtual world in the same manner that we used to do. Okay, class को distribute करना है वो चीजें. तो how we do that? It is using Google Classroom. Now, Google Classroom ke through what things we can do. First is we can create classroom with the students. Second is invite teachers. Third is adding students to the classroom and sharing the class code, okay, in order to add the students. Fourth is creating the topic. Fifth, uploading notes, videos, lectures, teaching materials. And sixth is creating an assignment or a quiz assignment or a question, or and seventh is creating rubrics. Like we have rubrics we use to see the performance index of a student. The same way we can create over here as well. And we have grading assignments. Okay, we can do grading of the assignments over here. So let's see how actually this entire what you can say scenario that we used to live in a real world, how we can map it to the virtual world. So let's get started. Okay, my screen is visible. Let's change the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. So, go for actually going to your classroom. Okay, if you want to go to a classroom, what you can do is here you can see a guys. Just a second. Can you see this? This is Google app, right? Okay, all the apps can be found over here. Whichever G Suite apps you are going to use, they can be found over here. So here I can just go scroll, and I have to just search for classroom. So yeah, I have found my classroom over here, and I can just click on it and it will open. And the second way is I can just type Google Classroom. Okay, sorry, not Google, classroom.google.com. I can type that and I will open this page. Okay, so over here, yeah. So over here, you can see I have various classes created. Can you see the classes created over here? So here, basically, when I open my Google Classroom, and if I am a new user, I will not find any of these classes over here. There will be no class over here. It will be a blank page, a white page over here, and you have to create your own classes. Now, because I had created the classes, I have students enrolled with me over here, so I can see those classes over here. Okay, so now the first thing we'll see is how to create a class. So when you go to classroom.google.com, the first thing you'll do is you'll go to this plus button over here. Okay, that's for creating or joining the class. You'll click on this. It will ask you to join a class or create a class. See, now if you are a student, okay, over here we have all the educators, so you are not going to join a class, you are going to create a class. So here we'll click on create a class, and this particular page will open up. Okay, so this page, on this page you just have to put the name of the class that you want to start. Okay, for example, I want to start a class with name G Suite 101. So I will write G Suite 101. Okay, so this is the only required field that you need to fill up. Okay, sometimes, you know, I don't suppose in our department or in our engineering category we don't have sections, but I suppose in MSc or somewhere like that you have parts and you have sections, so you could fill that. Okay, over here you can fill the name of the subject over here, and like suppose it's chemistry part 1, so you can fill over here, then you can fill the subject as chemistry, and if you want to put a room number to it, you can put it. Okay, and then you create the class. Now the class will be created. Please don't mind, my internet is a little bit slow. In the meantime, we'll just have a look at this one. Okay, while the class is getting created over there, I'll just show you. These are the classes. See, the class has been created with 0 students. Okay, now for the demo purpose, I've already created a class and I've included 4 students in that. Okay, so we'll see this class first, and if you want to open any of the classes, you just have to click on that particular class name. Okay, and if I just explain you this interface, you can see over here triple lines, that's a menu. Okay, here, okay, here if you can see, I have multiple the classes. When I click on this, I will be you know, shown this page, and if I click on calendar, I'll go to the calendar. Okay, we are not going to see that right now. And here I have all the classes that I've created, and at the end I have settings and archived classes. Okay, now what is the archived classes? If I have completed some classes, okay, if suppose these classes are over, so I can put them in archive list. Okay, for example, if suppose this class of mine is over, I am already done with this class, so I can put it in archive list and I can archive this class. Okay, because it's already done, so it will go in archive list. Later on, I can also recover it back from the archive. Okay, so now if I have put something in archive, I can go to the archive and I can see which are classes I've put in archive list. Okay, so these are the classes that I've put in archive list, and if I want to restore it back, I can click on, if you can see it properly over here, here you have 3 dots, right? Okay, so this 3 dots, okay, I will click on that and I can click on restore, and it will get restored directly to my main page. Okay, so yeah, I can go back to my classes and see the class SS Lab is back over here from the archive list. Okay, so this was one of the feature. If your class this semester is over, you can archive your classes. Okay, and you can create new classes for your new semester. You can do that. Now, if you see over here any interface, you can see over here there is this particular arrow. Okay, it will open the grade book. Okay, for this particular what you can say class, and this particular folder option over here. Okay, if you can see it well, yeah, this particular folder option, if I click on this, it will open the location where all these things are stored. Okay, so when I click on this, it will open the Google Drive, okay, where this particular folder is created. So whichever ID, now I'm using my MHSS ID. So if I'm using my MHSS ID, it will store all the information on my MHSS ID storage. And why I'm using this in morning session, we have already seen that if you are having a G Suite account, then you have an advantage that you have unlimited storage, right? So because of that, you can create your classroom on that. It will be easier for you because there is no limit to your storage. So that will be a fantastic thing for you guys. And if you are using your own account, it has a limitation. So sometimes it happens that your drive become full and you will not be able to use your Google Classroom very well. Okay, some features might not be activated on your Google Classroom and you will be facing a lot of problem. So better use your G Suite account for this purpose. Okay, so this is my G Suite class, and these things I've already created and uploaded. So it is showing me over here. Okay, and when I go back to my Google Classroom folder, I can see this directory has a lot many folders. These are nothing but the folders that I had created. These are the classes that I've created. So these are the classes that were there in my classroom. Okay, and they are mapped over here to my Google Drive, and you can find it in My Drive Classroom. Okay, and in the classroom you can find all your classes. Okay, if I want to go and I want to see this class, okay, this might be probably empty. Okay, ये पुराना class है. Okay, so this class has my notes. So I have stored my notes over here. So it is easy and handy for me to what you can say, just go in and see what particular subject has what data. Okay, managing my data becomes easy over here. Then coming back to this interface, classroom interface, this interface is pretty simple. And if I want to go to any class, for example, I want to go to G Suite 101. So when I click on G Suite 101, I can see over here one second, the interface. Okay, looks like this. Okay, initially when you have nothing, you just open up your account classroom, it will look something like this. There'll be no grades, no people, no classwork assigned. Okay, and no stream. Okay, now when I already, and if you want, you can change the theme also. Whatever images here, I can change that, like I have done it in my other class. Okay, if you can see the other class that I have created over here, if I see over here the image or the theme that I've used, okay, that relates. So you can even change the theme. And if you see over here, you get a class code and you get a meeting link. Now this is the new functionality that Google G Suite has added recently. Okay, wherein the meeting is integrated with your classroom. Now, if you want to start your class directly, your students and you can start using this particular link, and it will be very easy and handy for you guys. So you can directly use this meeting link. I'll just zoom in and you can see. Okay, so you can use a meeting link, and if you want people to join your class, you can just copy this code. Okay, you can just copy this particular code and you can send it to your class, okay, on your WhatsApp, or you can email them. Anyway, you can send the code to them and they will use this code. Initially I showed you that when I clicked on that plus symbol, there was a join class option and there was a create class option. So the students would use the join class option and put that code and they will join your class. Okay, so here now if you see my class, I have done some activities over here. So now if you see the activities over here, what I have done, everything comes on my feed over here. This is kind of a feed you can see. Okay, so what first thing I did was I created one quiz. Okay, second thing I created some notes. Okay, and then I did an announcement. Okay, hello students, welcome to G Suite Essential Classroom, and different activities that I did pop up over here. So the students can also see these activities, so that they are also, if the students have been added to your classroom, they can also see these activities of yours. Okay, and if you see on my left, okay, in a small box over here, I can see the upcoming events. Okay, upcoming events are nothing but these are different assignments and experiments and questions that I've put, different assignment questions that I've put, and these are the activities that I've given to my class, okay, to my class of students. That's why I can see it over here. If I click on view, I will open the page over here, and I can see, okay, I have done 4 activities, okay, 4 different works I have, okay, I've given to the students. And here this part shows me that, what I have to review, okay, and how many students have been assigned to that particular task. These are my tasks, okay. This is one task, this is the second task, the third and the fourth task, okay. So here these tasks, ये student ने ये task कर चुके. I have only 4 students in my class, so 4 of them have turned in the assignment, okay, quiz assignment. Here 2 have turned in, 2 have not. Okay, here all 4 have turned in the assignment. Here 1 have turned in and 3 have not. Okay, so I can see that. The other tab that I have over here in the review part is that reviewed. Okay, reviewed will be empty over here because I have not joined in a class. Okay, if I join in a class, then I can see all those over here. Okay, and if as a learner, I'll see all my information over here, what have been reviewed and what is not reviewed, my task. And as a educator, I can view all those information over here. Okay, so this is the review part. Going back to my main page over here. Now, if you can see on the top, okay, I have 4 different tabs. Okay, stream tab that will show me all my my feeds, and the second is the classwork. Okay, the classwork will show me what all things I can do in my class. Okay, now for instance, if I open my class, just a second. Yeah, this is my the class that I created right now, okay, in front of you guys. So when I go to this classwork is empty because I have not created anything over here. Now when I want to create something, okay, I click on this, and the first thing I advise you guys to create is the topics. Okay, why the topics? Because it becomes easy for you to manage your quizzes. For example, if in your syllabus you have 4 different chapters, okay, suppose we take the Google G Suite Essentials. So we have, suppose we have a chapter named Gmail and Contacts. We have Google Drive, we have Google Classroom, and we have Google Meet. These are the 4 different topics. So what I'll do is I will create all those topics. Okay, I will create Google Classroom. Okay, will be my one topic. Okay, it can be anything. If you're teaching a different subject, for example maths, okay, integration can be one of the topic, or something else like probability could be another topic. If that's in your syllabus, you can create your topics accordingly. So here I can create another topic. Okay, email and drive. This is my second topic. The third topic that I create is the other Google Meet. Okay, so suppose I have 3 topics. So I create these 3 topics. Now these 3 topics are the what you can say, your chapters. Okay, now under the chapters you can put your notes. Under the chapter you can put your assignments. Under these chapters, if you have quizzes, you can put those quizzes as well. Okay, so let's see how to create a study material under it. So if suppose I want to create a material, that is some material I want to upload under some topic. Okay, so I can click on materials. I hope it's visible to you guys. Okay, I will click on plus, create, and I will select material. And over here, if you see, this particular screen opens up. Okay, in this I have to create the title, what actually I'm doing. Now I am uploading a material. So if suppose it's a PPT or something, okay, the PPT I want to upload, so I will write something relatable to that thing, okay, that I'm uploading. So PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so something like that. And if you want to give some description to it, go ahead and give that description. What you'll find in this notes, if I would like to, give a brief description about, I can write. Okay, so I can do that. And the second thing that you have to do over here is you have to create an ad, and wherever is your material, okay, it's on your Google Drive. One second. See, it's on your Google Drive, either on the link, file, or it's a YouTube link. Okay, you can add these four options over here. Okay, तुमको material कहाँ से डालना है? अगर it's on my Google Drive, I will click on that. If it's a link, okay, I want to give a website link. I have my personal blog, and I want to put that blog link over here. Yes, I can do that. If I have, suppose I am using some other, cloud storage. If I want to link up over here, I can do it using this link. I can upload a file from my desktop. Okay, I can upload it from my system. And if I want a video, okay, if there is a practical and I've created a practical video, and I want to show the students that video, so I can upload it on YouTube, and I can put a link over here, and students can go watch that video that I've uploaded. Fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file first. Okay, I'll show you how to upload a file. So first, when you click on file, you will see this. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to go on this upload. Okay, click on upload, browse, and whatever things you want to, from wherever you want to upload it, okay, you can upload. For example, I just want to upload, suppose, let's say I would want to upload the PowerPoint presentation that I have made. Okay, so yeah, I'll upload that. Right. So now if you see, when I uploaded that, it got uploaded over here. So it will get uploaded over here, and then I can just assign over here which topic I would like it to be associated with. Okay, it is for all students. Okay, this is for my class G Suite 101, and the topic that I would like it to be under is, for example, Google Classroom. So I will put it, and what I can do over here, I can directly post it, or what I can do is I can just go on here and I can schedule it, or later on if I want to make some changes and then I want to upload it, I can save it as a draft as well. Okay, this part I'll just zoom. Okay, so post, schedule, draft, or discard the draft. Okay, I can use these options. If I click on post, it will directly post my post over here. If I put schedule will ask me when I want to upload it. Okay, I can schedule a time. Like for example, if I am on chapter 1 and I have already prepared the notes of chapter 2, I would not like it to be revealed to the students right now. Okay, I want it in the month of suppose August. Okay, first week of August. So I can schedule it in that way, and I can just go on that, and I can put the date and the time, and it will upload or post it on my feed at that particular time. But I want to do it right now, so I will click on post directly. When I do that, it is going to upload that particular notes in my classroom. If you see, I have put it under this classroom. So this is how I'm managing my information over here. Like I have created notes. I wanted to be in a certain chapter, so I can put it in that chapter. Now, if I see Gmail and Drive, okay, I want to create a quiz, or I want to create an assignment for that. So what I can do is I can just go back to this particular create. Okay, I will click on that, and I want an assignment. Okay, see, for your assignments and for your experiments, okay, you use this particular option, assignment option. Experiments ke liye bhi, assignments ke liye bhi, you can use this particular option. And when I click on this, Okay, it will give me the similar kind of look, similar looking application interface. And over here I can put, suppose I want a experiment, okay, on Gmail, that how I will schedule a email. Okay, so that is my experiment. Okay, so I will just write the name of the experiment, suppose scheduling an email. Okay, uh, experiment on scheduling an email. This is my experiment. And if I want to give further information or some instructions to my students, I could put it over here. Now, what I want to do now, you should really be careful over here. When I am wanting to create an experiment, okay, if I assign this experiment, okay, the student will have option, okay, they can upload their own file. Okay, so abhi when they upload their own file, they can upload a email, what you can say, a PDF file, they can upload a Word file, okay, or any other file extension they can upload. But if I want that they should upload every information in a file that I have provided to them. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to go to this plus create. Okay, this over here, I have to go create, and I will click on this. Now I have to create a document, okay, because I am making an assignment that is an experiment, okay, right now. So I'll click on document. Now it will create a document over here, okay, and if you see over here, this document over here, when I created, automatically that document is going to open up in a next tab. Okay, but over here, what I want you to understand, one thing over here is, when this document is created over here, you can see over here, can you see this particular drop down? Now this drop down is very important to understand, because see, if you want a set of instruction to be given to the students, that you have created a manual and you want that manual to be uploaded with the experiment. Okay, so you can keep this option, student can view the file. Okay, if it is a manual, okay, you want that every student should only view that manual and do their own experiments and upload it. If you want that, so you can put it this way. Okay, and in this particular file, okay, I will just have my experiment manual. Okay, whatever manual you have, you can just upload that manual. Okay, and the students will only be able to view this. Okay, they'll not be able to edit anything in this, they can only view this particular document. But if suppose you want the students to perform the experiment and upload it into this file, okay, so you can use this third option. Okay, make a copy for each student. Okay, now you have to be very careful over here. Somebody's mic is on, please switch, put off your mic. Okay, so over here, if I select this particular option, make a copy of for each student. Okay, so now when I'm using this particular option, what happens is each and every student will get a individual copy of this file. Okay, now why it is important to use your G Suite account is because if suppose you have a class of 69 students and 69 students are uploading 69 different files, then you need a larger storage. And if you have your normal Gmail account and Gmail Drive, okay, 15 GB is not enough for that. Okay, so you need to have your G Suite account for this purpose. Okay, otherwise your Gmail account will be not Gmail account, G Drive will be full in no time. Okay, in one assignment it will be full. So make sure that you use your G Suite account for this purpose if you're using this option. Okay, for the other two option, if now the second option. Okay, now the second option over here is student can edit a file. Okay, this option when you can give is, if you want suppose we have a mini project. Now in mini project, I want each and every student to enter information about themselves, okay, like the name of the student and the students with him, okay. For example, student 1, student 2, student 3, and the topic name, okay, and the description of the topic. So what I can do is, instead of using a document, I can create a sheet over here. I can create a sheet, and I can give the options over here. Okay, what option over here ki student can edit this file. So each and every student will be able to edit this file, and the activities will be saved, that which students have edited what, okay. So they cannot do any mischief over here. So now if I want students to make multiple copies, okay, for individual student I want individual copy, I will choose this particular option, make a copy for each student. If I want only one copy and multiple students should edit that copy, then I can use students can edit file, okay, this option. And if I want to upload a user manual, or I want to upload an experiment manual, then I can choose the option student can view the file, okay. So student will only be able to view that file, they will not be having any editorial rights to that particular file. Okay, so I hope this particular part is very simple and it's understandable. Now we move on to the right side of this panel. Over here in this right panel, you have for, okay, which this assignment you're creating for which class and what group of students, okay. So you can put it there. Then there is points, okay, over here. When you click, 1 second. If I click over here, you can see I have points and I have an option over here, ungraded. Okay, I have an option ungraded. Now, if this is an ungraded assignment, it's just a understanding assignment or something, then it is ungraded. But we mostly have a graded assignment or graded experiment, so we prefer, okay, to use a graded point. And here I'll put the point that I would like this experiment to be of, okay, kitne marks ka hona chahiye. So for example, like usually in our syllabus we have 15 for rubric, sorry, for the journal you have 15 marks, okay. So we create a rubric according to the 15 marks, right? So I want the experiment to be graded on the point of 15, so I'll put 15 over here. I will not keep it ungraded, okay. Then due means when you want this particular experiment to be submitted by the student, okay. So now when I click over here, it will show me due date and time. So now what I can do is I can keep a date. If suppose I have created this particular assignment and I want students to fill it by 31st, okay. I want that all the students should do this experiment by 31st. I will click on that. If I want certain timing for it, I can put it certain time. Suppose PM nahi chahiye, I want AM. Okay, so I can put AM as well. I can put any other time as well. Okay, it is up to you. And then the topic. Okay, now the topic, this assignment will fall under which topic that you have created. If you have not created, you can create from here as well. Okay, so you want it to be under Meet, you want to be under Classroom, you want it to be under this topic. So now you decide which topic. Suppose I wanted to be under, suppose karo, Meet, right, or the drive. Okay, so accordingly, because the topic name over here that I've given is scheduling and email, so I'll put it under the drive. Okay, but for instance, I forgot to put it under drive and मैंने उसको ऐसे ही किसी में भी put कर दिया. Okay, just for instance. Okay, I was forgetful and I did that. Okay, now उसके बाद हम rubric पे आते हैं. ठीक है, अब ये rubric जो है, here you can create your own rubric, or you can reuse the rubric that you already have created, or you can import from a sheet. Okay, now what we'll do is simply create a rubric first, okay, and then we'll see how to reuse the rubric. So now when I create a rubric, okay, it will pop up this particular interface, okay, wherein I can add different rubric. Okay, now suppose karo I have I want to create a rubric that will, grade the student according to the timely submission, according to the discipline, according to the performance and the knowledge. Okay, so what I'm judging them on: performance, knowledge, discipline, and on-time submission. Right. So what I can do is I can just put that what you can say criterion over here. So the criterion title would be, suppose, on-time submission. Okay. So this is my first criterion. Okay, you don't need to put all the informations over here. Only the required part needs to be filled, and the second required part is the point. How much point I want for on-time submission. Suppose I give on-time submission 3 marks. Okay, that 3 marks will be on on-time submissions, and then I want to create more 3 criterions, because I told you एक on-time submission है, second is knowledge, third performance, and fourth is your discipline. So I'll create 4 different fields over here, for criterion fields. The second one is, for example, discipline. Okay, and the marks that I want to assign over here is, suppose, 2 marks for the discipline. Okay, and then I can add more criterion over here. So I add one more criterion over here. Just a second. Yeah, I will add knowledge. Okay, and the criterion point over here would be, suppose, 5. I add one more criterion, that is performance, and I assign the point for this particular criterion as 5. So I have created 4 different parameters for judging my students. Okay, and I save it. Now you have to create your rubric only one time, okay, for experiments, and one time for your assignment, and later on you can reuse your rubric. Okay, so this is how you created your rubric, and that rubric is assigned. Okay, now there is one option over here, check plagiarism. Okay, now plagiarism is something that you can you have some criteria over here to check plagiarism, that only you can use it once, okay, for any assignment. So what you can do is, this can be used when the students are submitting the black book, okay, or their research papers to you. That time you can make use of this this particular option. Okay, and if I see now, I'll just zoom in and zoom out, and see, I have 2 files over here. One is a student, all students can edit. Now what I can do is, when I create this, 2 different tabs have been opened, okay, that are related to this particular files. Okay, so here this particular file, I can rename this file over here. Okay, and whatever the first things you type over here, and when you click over here, it will appear over here. Okay, and the same thing I can do over here. I can just make project information, something like that. Okay, I can just put the titles over there, and then I can assign, or either I can schedule assign. Okay, so if I assign this particular task right now, okay, whoever is a student in this particular class, they will be assigned this particular task. Okay, is it clear till now? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Ella. Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
clear.
So I just move ahead then. We have created an experiment. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll create another experiment, for instance, for Google Meet. Okay, and we will reuse the rubric again. So now what I have to do is, I'll just go to this plus. Okay, and what I can do is, either I can reuse the post. Okay, reuse the post means, if I have created different posts prior to this, and they exist in my classroom, I can make use of those posts as well. Okay, so when I click on this, I can you can see whatever post I have, done on all of my classrooms are visible over here. Okay, and I can use now for this particular, if I want to use for G Suite, this. Okay, so I have created a study material, that is PowerPoint presentation material, and one is experiment on scheduling and email, right? So I want to repeat that. I can use this and it will directly create that particular post, and I can just edit the title and everything, and it will see. Can you see the entire post is created? Only what I have to do is I have to change this. Okay, yes, and the last time I forgot to put it under the correct heading, so we'll do that as well. Okay, now this has to be in Meet, and the experiment name that I'm going to use over here is experiment on different extensions used in Meet. Okay, so this is my experiment over here. And if I don't want a Excel sheet for that, I just want an experiment. And even over here, I can, if the same instructions are to be given, then no need of changing this file as well. You can keep the file also same. Okay, and you can create different, make a copy for individual assigned students, or you can keep it in the view file mode only. Okay, and see over here, the rubrics is already added. Okay, what if suppose the rubric was not there? Okay, I'm just deleting it. So if I click over here and create a rubric, reuse a rubric, I can click on reuse a rubric, and you will see that I've already created a rubric of 15 points, and I can use that. Okay, and if I have already have different classes. Okay, so if I want to use a rubric of other class, for example, some other class, I can use the rubric for that class. See, I have a 5 marks rubric as well. Okay, so I can use that, but we'll see how to create that as well. Okay, but I would like to use now 15 marks ka rubric, so I'll click on select. Okay, and the 15 mark rubric is added over here, and I can select the date when the student have to, I want it in mid of August or something. Okay, so I will put that, and if I want it by 12, before 12 on August 12, so I can click that and just assign. Okay, I'll just verify all the information. Before you assign, just verify all the information and just click on assign. That particular assignment will be added to that particular topic that you have created. Now, if you can see, Google Meet you have two different assignments. Now, I told you that this particular assignment was for Google Drive and Gmail, right? Okay. So what I'll do, I have here dots. Can you see this? I'll just zoom. Okay, so when I click on that dot, okay, I get these options: edit, delete, copy link. Okay, so I want to edit it because I want to put it into Gmail and my Drive. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just change over here to Drive and save. That's it. Okay, now when I view my classwork, okay, you can see that my experiment on different extensions is in Google Meet, and my experiment on scheduling and email is in Gmail and Drive. Okay, so here I have put my experiment under the headings that I want. Okay, so this is how you create assignments and experiments. Okay, assignment is also the same way. You just have to create a different rubric for that purpose. Okay, suppose I want an assignment that everybody should be doing on some morning session. Okay, create a form and use Flubero with it. Okay, so assignment on Flubero. Okay, so and I can put instruction over here: create a form and use Okay, so I have created the instructions over here that what the students have to do. Okay, this is an assignment of 5 marks. So now over here in the points, what I'll do, I'll put 5. Okay, this is a graded assignment. The date that I want students to submit by. Okay, I want it to be in third week of August, for instance. Okay, and the time that you want. If you don't put the time, it's okay. Then which topic you want it to be under. Okay, so the topics that I have over here is not here, so I can create a topic from here itself. Okay, and what topic I want it to be under is Google Forms and extensions. Okay, so I created a topic from here only. Okay, so this is also one of the way you can create a topic. Okay, and the rubric that I want to add is 5 marks rubric. So I have to create that rubric again in the same fashion. We are going to create. We'll go to the plus sign over here, create rubric. This particular interface will open up. We have to put the criterion. Now for can somebody suggest what criterions you want me to put in this particular rubric? Anybody could suggest. I hope everybody is awake. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are awake.
Okay, because after lunch. Yes.
On-time submission.
Okay, on-time submission is one. Okay, so we'll put on-time submission. Okay.
Legibility.
Okay, on-time submission. Okay, उसको marks दे देते हैं. Suppose 1. Okay. Yes.
Legibility.
Legibility. We'll give 1 marks and or 1 marks. Any other
content.
Oh, okay, content. How much marks you want to give for that?
Knowledge for subject.
3 marks.
Okay.
Okay, so let's keep 3 performance indexes. That is legibility, the content of the assignment, and on-time submission. Okay, so on-time submission we have 1 mark, legibility we have 1 mark, and for the content the student is putting in, we are going to give him 3 marks. Okay, and I'll save this particular rubric. Okay, and then here see 5 marks rubrics is created, and I can assign. Okay, now if you see, I assigned, but I did not put any file. Okay, so now the student is having the freedom to upload their own files. Okay, if I'm not putting the files over here, if you see, okay, I have just put the file over here. I have not put any file over here, but before that जो experiments के लिए ना मैंने file put की थी. Okay, यहाँ पे document put किया था. So if I'm putting the document over here, the student can upload in the document. But here I have not. I have given the student the liberty. They can upload their file in whatever format they want. Okay, but I would suggest that you can. You should provide them with a file. Okay, and don't let them upload a different file, because when they put a PDF file, okay, and suppose you want them to make some changes, like when you are assessing the experiment, in your real world, so we say okay, this part is not correct, you should change it so that I'll grade it later on, right? So if you want that thing to happen, okay, I'll show you how that happens in this particular virtual world. But if you want that to happen, so you should take care that you give a document over here. Okay, so here I have not given a document, but if I remember later on, I can edit it and I can create a document, okay, over here, and I can just change individual copy for individual student, I can put over here. Okay, but now see, once the assignment is assigned, okay, जैसी assignment एक बार assign हो जाता है ना, तो I can only create a view file, okay, and I cannot make changes to it. So I have to delete this one and have to create another one. Okay, so I'll have to do that. So what I'll do, I'll delete this. I'll delete this assignment. Okay, and I'll be creating another assignment for that. Now the name of the assignment was assignment for using right? So this was my assignment, and the date, whatever date that I had put previously, I can put that. Okay. And the topic that I wanted it to be Google Forms and extensions. The rubrics I've already created, so I will reuse the rubric. Okay. And I have 5 marks rubric. Yeah, oh sorry, I've deleted the rubric, so here I will not get that rubric. Okay. um, at least one time it should be present for this purpose. So I'll just put quickly. What's happening? Okay. Okay. So here I will create the file, document file, and I will just give instructions over here. If I want to kindly use this document, upload the sign. Okay, I have just given a note to the students, and they'll be able to view this note. And here, this is an assignment. Okay, so assignment. Okay, so I just created this, and I'll just close it. Okay, and the rubrics, I'll just verify. Okay, can view, nahi chahiye. I want every student to make individual copy of it, and I will just assign it. Okay. Okay. So now, if you see this particular assignment, you can see that there's a file over here. Okay, and the rubrics that I'm using is 5 points rubrics, and 3 criterias are there, and 0 students have been assigned and 0 turned in. Okay, similarly over here, I can see that whichever things I've assigned, I can see how many people have turned in. Now, the turned in criteria, I hope everybody is understanding this part. So let's go to the people part. Okay, over here in the people part, what actually happens over here is that I can add a teacher with me. Okay, a subordinate teacher. For instance, I am sharing the subject with some other teacher. Okay, for example, I am sharing the subject with Nafisa Mapari. So what I can do is I can just go over here, and I can just type her email address. Okay, and I can invite her. Okay, so what I am doing basically is I have invited a teacher to teach with me. Okay, so we both can, review the assignment. We can grade the assignments together. So if you are sharing the classroom with some other teacher, there is no problem at all. You don't have to create 2 different classrooms for that. You can create a single classroom. You can add the teacher there, and both of you can, whichever set of students you have got. Suppose I have got A batch, and Nafisa has got B and C batch. Okay, so I can assess for A batch students only, and she can assess for B and C batch students. And whichever assignments we want to give, we can post it together over here, or individually I can also post, she can also post. Okay, so she has to accept. Nafisa, could you please accept the invitation so I can just show them? Yeah, see, so the teacher has been added because she has accepted my invitation. I am the owner of this class, so I can make her the class owner. Okay, and I can even email her, or I can remove her, okay, from this particular class. Okay, so this is how you can add a teacher with you in a class. Okay, now to add the students, okay, you can do 2 things. Either you can add them manually by typing in their email addresses over here. Okay, suppose I have Simran. I add Simran. Okay. Okay. I have added one student. I will add another student. Sahil and Simran, could you please accept my invite? These two students I've added. I can add it this way, or there's another way to add it. On the first page, okay, the stream page, I can see over here the code. Right over here, I can see the code. This is the code of my class, okay, and I can share this code with the class. Whoever types this code, okay, in the join, they'll be able to join my class. Okay, so whoever uses this code to join in will be able to join. So what I'll do is I can just copy this code. Okay, I'll just copy this code and I can just email somebody, or I can just post it on the group or somewhere, and people will be able to join in. Okay, so that is a way to do it. Okay, and see what all activities I did in the class. Initially it was empty. Now I had done certain activities. It's showing all those activities. Now what I can do is I can write over here, hello students, kindly complete your experiments on time. I'll just write this and post it. Okay, so all the students will be notified about this. Okay, all the students will get this particular information from my side. Okay, now coming to the grades. Okay, now see, Simran and Sahil have joined my class, so they see, they are there, okay, as my student. Now what the best part of the classroom is that I can select all my students and I can email them also. Okay, I can email them, welcome to the class G Suite 101 or something like that in the initial the commencement of the class. We can do that, and if you want some certain important announcement to be done, you can do it using this. Okay, see, jitne bhi students isme रहेंगे, all those students will be added over here. Here, see, okay, and whatever, okay, welcome mail, suppose. Okay, so I am just okay, this is the mail I have written, so I will just send it, and these two people will receive that mail from my side. Okay, so this is how I add teachers and I add students to the class. Now grades. Okay, now coming to the grades, I'll just move on to the previous class that I've already created. Okay, that is G Suite Essential class that I already created, and I have 4 students in this. Okay, and I have assigned certain work to them. I'll just go to classwork and I'll show you. These are certain things that we have created. Okay, one was a question that I created. Okay, this particular question is nothing but an open-ended question that I want to ask students. Okay, so I asked the question, what is Google Classroom used for? Okay, and how did I create that? I went to create and I used this particular option, question. Okay, and question is always an ungraded what you can say, part. Okay, you cannot grade that part. So the questions are just for students. You want poll from the students, or you want some suggestions from the students, or you want them to answer something for you, then you can put a question. Okay, but for assignments and experiments, we always use the first option. Okay, the second option over here is quiz assignment. Quiz assignment is nothing but you can create a quiz. You can it will automatically create a quiz. I'll just show you. I have already made a quiz. Where did it go? Yeah, over here. So this is the quiz that I have already drive related quiz I've created. I'll just open it up for you and I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, so this is the quiz that I created, and I have used a 15-point rubric for this as well. Okay, and I've given a certain time over here, and it's already gone. Okay, and the time is up basically. And over here I have a quiz. So when I click on this quiz, okay, the Google form will open up, and you already know how the Google form is created, how the quiz is created. So I'm not going to show you that, but I have put only 3 questions over here. And make sure when you're creating a Google form for your Google Classroom quiz, okay, make sure that you go to your settings, and you this is already checked, okay, for your domain, G Suite domain IDs. It is always checked, okay, these two are always checked. So you have to make sure that you uncheck it, because if you just let it be checked, then the students will keep on telling you, ma'am, we don't have access to it. Okay, yesterday when I created that, the students did tell me that they don't have access to the quiz. Okay, so you have to uncheck it if they don't have all the students don't have G Suite IDs. Okay, so you make sure that you uncheck this one, and limit one response. Yes, you don't want the students to respond multiple times, so you just put a limit to it, and done. Okay, this is one thing. And there are 5 responses that I've received. Okay, if you want to check the responses, you can check the responses, what are the marks that people have got. Okay, now because I did not put a limit to it, so this particular student has done it twice. Okay, so I don't want that to happen. Okay, and what I can do over here is I'll save this assignment, and I'll go to the grading part now, because now I have to grade the assignment. Abhi tak ke what all things we have seen is how to create a class, okay, add students to it, add teacher to the class, okay, a joint teacher to your class, and then how to create assignments, experiments, how to create rubric for it, okay, and how to assign them to certain topics. Okay, we have seen these things. Now coming to the actual part where we actually grade students' experiments and assignments. Okay, now when it is an experiment, okay, I have received some, if you see this grid over here, you can see that there are 4 students, and यहाँ पे there are some turned in लिखा हुआ है, and over here you can see that the points have been given. Here also the points have been given. These are the points that I have given. Okay, 15 marks, 5 marks that I have assigned. Now this is only turned in written because this is a question. Okay, this is a Google question, Google Classroom wala question that I've created. So here if I click, see, I can, this is a link. Okay, over here this is a link. If I click on this, I'll go to all the information related to this particular experiment in relation with all my students. So when I click on this, I'll go to that particular question, okay, and what all students have answered. See, now 3 students have answered. I have asked the question, what is Google Classroom used for? So 1 student have answered this, 2nd have answered this, 3rd has answered this. Okay, so this is just for asking suggestions or discussing something. You can use even for communication classes. This is one of the very good thing you can use for discussion as well. Okay, so now I can see over here in the left panel, this left panel that I have, I can see over here the students have turned in the assignments at 3, and 1 of the student has not yet turned in. So now what I have to do is I have to make that student remind, okay, she has to turn in. So I can select that student, okay, जिन्होंने भी assignment नहीं किया है, I can select those students and I can just mail them. Okay, kindly turn in the assignment as soon as possible, just a reminder mail. Okay, so if 100 students are also there who have not turned in, you don't have to keep on writing their email IDs. All will appear over here with the information, subject information as the name of the activity that you created. Kindly submit. Okay, and I will send. So Simran will get this particular mail, kindly submit, and she will know that okay, she has not submitted and she has to submit. Now these 3 students have already turned in the what you can say questionnaire. Okay, but it is an ungraded assignment, so I don't need to do anything. Okay, it is just for me to know what students think about this particular topic. Okay, the other thing is जो assignments or experiments are graded, how do I check those? Okay, so now these assignments are graded assignments, so I'll just go to this assignment and I'll see how many students have submitted. Okay, fine. I can see on my left panel that all of them have submitted, and what things they have submitted over here. I can see that this particular student has attached 2 attachments. Okay, these 3 have done in that particular format only. So what I can do is I just click on one of them. Okay, and an interface will open up where I can check my assignment. Okay, so here, just a second, I'll just be back. Yeah, so here I can see this is the Google document that I uploaded, and the student has done the assignment in this. Suppose I feel that this particular line is not correct. Okay, what she has written, I don't feel that's correct. Okay, so I can add a comment. Okay, right click, add a comment. Kindly change this part. Okay, and I can post it, so she will know that I have given a comment on this particular part, and that will be known to only her. Fine. So this is how you can comment, and you can, if you want that, you can do this as well. And on the right side, if you can see, the rubric appears. Okay, if I'm not happy with whatever she's written, okay, I can change the marks. But if I'm happy with whatever things she's done, but I feel that her knowledge is not up to the mark, okay, I'll just change the marks. And then what I'll do is I'll return. Okay, yeah, not return jo likha hai na, it means that up till now the assignment was not graded by me and not returned to the student. So when I click on return, these marks will be returned to the student. Okay, so I have returned one of the assignments to the student. Okay, I'll just click and I return. Okay, and then I can move ahead. This arrow, just a second, guys, just a second. Yeah. So now when I see turned in late, it means that this particular student has done it at late. So what I can do is for on-time submission, I can put 0 directly, and whatever she's written over here, according to that, I can grade her. Okay, I can grade her according to that, and I will return the assignment to her. Okay, so this is how you check your assignments. Okay, and if I go back, okay, and I see the grades, you can see that the marks that I have given to them appear over here. Okay, whatever marks, and if the students want, they can re-return the assignments. If I've commented on that and they have changed it, they can return the assignment and I can re-return them back, upgrading their marks. Okay, so this is how the assignments can be graded. Okay, over here also, if I want, I can grade the assignments, whichever experiments they have done. I can just go there and I can grade them. Okay, so here I can just go to this particular student. He has uploaded a PDF file as well as certain experiment over here. So I'll just go and I can grade it over here, but I can see that he has not used that. He has used a PDF over here. So what I can do is I can just select, agar he has uploaded another file, I can just go to that file and I can view what all things is written. Okay, so you can just see that, and according to that you can just grade the students on the rubric. Okay, so I'll just give him for late submission. Okay, 0, and 1. Okay, and I can return. So this is how I'm grading my experiments. So this is all about my Google Classroom. I hope you have understood the working of Google Classroom, and so we'll move to Jamboard. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Okay, so sorry. Yes. So the next topic that we'll move on to is a Jamboard. Okay, Jamboard is nothing but a whiteboard or a digital whiteboard. Sometimes when we were in the pre-pandemic era, we used to use a blackboard, or recently in our college the whiteboards were installed, and we used to use a marker pen and a duster. Okay, so a Jamboard, if you go and Google about Jamboard, a Jamboard is a device that is created by Google for G Suite for education purpose. Okay, it's a interactive device that was created, and this Jamboard is not only a hardware device, but it also has a software part related to it. So what they did was, the software that is used in the Jamboards, okay, that's a Jamboard software that they have made available to the G Suite for education purpose, okay, free of cost. The software is available for free of cost, but if you want to buy a Jamboard, it is that's a hardware device, okay. That is a actual board with a duster and everything, a pen, stylus attached to it, and you can buy that. But we are not talking about that Jamboard. We are talking about the software part of it that is available on G Suite for education, and we can use it free of cost. Okay. So what is the advantage of using a Jamboard? Okay. Like I said, that we used to use the blackboard. Okay, to write things, we erase it off. Then we write something, we erase it off. Sometimes we just jot down the topics that we are going to do today, and then we start writing one by one each of the topics, and we used to cover that way. Now, using Jamboard, that's possible. Okay, the whiteboard part is possible over here, and Jamboard gives you multiple functionalities. Okay, the first of the functionality is use of color pens and color different colors. You can use different colors for in the form of pens, in the form of background. You can use all that sort of things. And the second one is you can share your jams and work in collaboration with others in real time. Like for example, in the classroom I added one teacher, right? Even for jam also I can add another teacher with me. Collaboration is possible over here. Okay, and the third functionality is the sticky notes. Okay, you can put sticky notes in your Jamboard as well. Okay, to write something, typing something on your Jamboard is possible using the sticky notes. Okay, and the fourth functionality is that you can insert photos, stickers in your Jamboard, okay, to make it look more interactive and more creative and understandable. You can use that. Okay, you can import files from your drives. You can upload files from your desktop as well, okay, in your Jamboard. And you can use this is my favorite part. You can use a laser pointer tool as well. Okay, the laser pointer is also available. So let's see how we can do all those things. Okay, now some of the faculties who teach subjects like mathematics or some mathematical equations are there, and you have to teach it like on whiteboard as well. It becomes very difficult to teach without a stylus to write with. Okay, it becomes very difficult. So what you can do is, like I have given you one example over here, that what I did was that for my subject I have written certain equations, and I clicked its picture and I've uploaded it on my Jamboard. Okay. Now, before we go into that part, okay, dive in that particular part, I'll just show you how a jam is created. Okay, Jamboard is created. So for that, we need to click on this plus button over here. Okay, the interface of all G Suite services are probably more or similar. Okay, so what we can do is, we wherever you can see the plus sign, it always means something, creation of something. Okay, so click on that. Just a second. Yeah. So when I click on that, a new jam is created, and what I can do is I can just rename my jam, and I can write any name that I want. Suppose this is G Suite Essentials. Okay, I'll just name something, and that jam is created. Okay, now this is my whiteboard. Now you might be thinking, okay, how I can use this from your Meet. Okay, you can be teaching on Meet, and on another tab you can start your jam, and you can show students how to use it. Okay, for example, I just want to show for example, I want to show people, just a second. Yeah. Okay, so this particular jam I've already created with a file. Okay, this is particularly for my subject. Okay, where I want my students to find D. Okay, and this was the equation, and I did not know how to write it. So what did I do was I write it on the paper. I clicked the picture of it, and I have uploaded it over here. Okay, how to upload it, I'll just show you in a minute. Okay, so I uploaded this picture, and what I can do is I can use the sticky notes here and there to explain different things. Okay, so here the first option is the pen option. You can see on the left side. If I'll just zoom more for you. Okay, over here, if you see the pen. Okay, this is a pen, and the pen is used for writing something on my jam. Okay, now when I click on the pen, okay, you have multiple types of pen and different colors you can choose from. The type of pens are your pen, normal pen, your marker pen, your highlighter pen, and the brush. Okay, so probably you are going to use a pen, and whichever color you would like to write with, you can write that. Okay, and if you want to solve something, or you want to show, mark an arrow or something, you can do that using that. And even you have a duster kind of thing over here that can be used to, remove things like this. Okay, it would take a lot of time. Instead of that, you can clear the frame. Okay, so you can do that. And this arrow is just to select things. Okay, here and there we can select things, the arrows for that purpose. The fourth option over here is a sticky note. Okay, that I've already used over here. When I click on this, okay, sticky note appear, and I can write something on the sticky note. For example, I just want to I am starting my lecture, and I want to write things that we are going to do in this particular lecture. So I'll write, okay, fine, I want to start with a Jamboard, and then first thing we'll do Jamboard. Okay, second thing that we are going to do is Google Meet. Okay, so we have written Jamboard and Google Meet, and I'll just stick it there. Okay, and see, this is stuck somewhere. If I want, I can increase the size, and I can shrink it over here. And if I want to rotate it, yes, I can rotate it like this. Okay, and here I have 3 dots, if you can see, and I can edit it, I can duplicate it, and if I want to delete it, I can delete it as well. Okay, so I'll just make it bigger, and I can post it somewhere. Okay, so that people, my students would know the focus is on these 2 topics. Okay, and then I can go ahead and I can teach the other things.